these bones live? You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good and Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody.
Talk to me, Daddy. Talk to me, talk to me, Daddy.
All right now.
A positive attitude says everything about you. Attitude is a little thing that makes a
Y'all got to tell me if y'all got sound now.
You've been given a gift. That's why they call it the present. And it's up to you of how you unwrap it. So yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift. So don't let the pain of your past.
Y'all got sound or not? Hit me in the comments. Tell me if you got sound.
Stop replaying the movie. Why did this happen to me? When it's done with you, be done with it. If it seems like you keep running into pigeons, it's an indication that you're flying.
Hit me on all the platforms. Do you have sound? Yes, no, yes.
Lies themselves. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Allow your challenges to be a stepping stone to prepare
YouTube.
you to new possibilities.
Y'all got sound YouTube? Y'all got sound Facebook? Y'all got sound Twitter? Holla at your boy. All right.
Remember this, within every seed there is a tree, in every tree there is a forest. Who and what you were born into is simply
all right, let's get it.
Prepare you for your ultimate purpose. It was not a setback, it was a setup. Your purpose and potential is bigger than your past pain or problem.
All right, let's get it, y'all. We're going to play this piece and get into our convo. Tell a friend, tell somebody Bishop is on the air. Rep your city, rep your town. Rep your city, rep your town.
Look in the mirror and
let me know where you are chiming in from.
A beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope.
Let me know where you're chiming in from.
I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from, and hit, but it just made me stronger, and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level.
I was above that nonsense. Made a liar of the devil.
The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love. I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me, and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love for me, he came to bring.
All right, let's get it.
Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. She's looking good. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to the Spoken Word. Had to work out some technical difficulties. My friends on YouTube and some other places were having some trouble with sound, and so hopefully everybody got some sound now. Just one more time in the comment section, if the sound is okay for you, hit your boy up and tell me, yeah, Bishop, we got sound. We can hear you. We can hear you. Just toss it in there. Let me know you can hear me. I know they can hear me here over the 4,000 watts. Welcome to everybody in the Pioneer Valley and beyond who are listening to WTCC FM. It was a great weekend. A great week and great weekend. Very busy. It was National Voter Registration Day last week. I traveled to Detroit to the Bishops' Conference of the Church of God in Christ, and while I was there, I participated in the Vote or Else huge forum that was held at Huntington Place in Detroit. A lot of your favorite hip-hop artists were there. Killer Mike, Pusha T, Beanie Siegel, you name it. My sister, Tamika Mallory, my son, the General, others were there. We talked about the importance of voting and dealt with the various issues of concern for black folks. Of course, you know Michigan is a swing state, so that place was targeted on purpose.
to have that conversation. We had our Kojic Counts weekend for the Church of God in Christ this past weekend. We registered our members yesterday. We want to make sure we have 100% voter registration and participation. So you can go to vote.org right now while you're listening to me and check your registration status, okay? And check it out. There were some in our congregation that found out that they weren't listed as registered. So they would have went to the polls to try to vote and wouldn't have been able to, but they were able to register to vote right there on the spot. So do that. Important election coming up on November 5th. Not just the presidential election, but the down ballot races as well. So ballot questions are going to be on the ballot here in Massachusetts and in various other places as well. So definitely go on and get registered. We'll be doing souls to the polls once that process opens up. Once early voting opens in early October, we'll be choosing a Sunday in October and doing souls to the polls. Making sure all our people are ready to vote. And then after the bishops' conference, came back home and I went to the 100 Men of Color Black Tie Gala. I was one of the honorees this year. I want to shout out Mr. June Archer and the 100 Men of Color and all of the other honorees that were there. Had a great time at that gala. And then on Saturday, went to the third annual Gospel Fest, sponsored by True Vine Radio. Want to shout out Brother Hill and the entire Gospel Fest committee radio. I was once there at that particular event. I'm always humbled when I'm honored in my own hometown. Jesus said a prophet is without honor in his own home. And so when I'm recognized in my hometown, it's extra special. So shout out to Brother Hill and True Vine and Gospel Fest Committee. Thank you so very much for that recognition. So a lot going on. October 17th, you don't want to miss it. The NAACP Freedom Fund is happening. I'm going to try to find the underwriting and play the cart for you. It's happening. My good friend, Reverend Siobhan Arline Bradley, is the speaker, the keynote speaker. So you want to go to our Facebook page and find out all the information so you can get your tickets. I know last year we sold out, and in typical black people fashion, we had folks the week of. Y'all know how y'all do. The week of, the day before, all that stuff, trying to get tickets. One of my relatives is being honored, and we want to get tickets and yada, 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 yada. Listen, don't y'all do that this year. You get it now, because I'm telling you, shortly, they'll be sold out. Then, Pookie or somebody will be getting an award, and y'all be wanting to go at the last minute, and you won't be able to go. So, get your ticket. So our awardees, Community Service Award is going to Cindy Gaynor Harper and Cleo Martin. We'll be receiving community service awards. Our Veterans Award is going to Edward Hatton. Youth Award is going to Jalen Lovejoy. Youth Service Award, Pioneer Valley Project. And the President's Award is going to Dr. Sonia Denal. Those are our awardees during this year's Freedom Fund. And Dr. Siobhan Arline Bradley again is our keynote speaker. Matter of fact, let me just roll that cart so y'all can hear all the details and get your tickets.
Us for an unforgettable evening at the Greater Springfield NAACP Annual Freedom Fund Dinner, October 17th at the Sheridan, downtown Springfield. From connection to action, an evening of inspiration and impact. Nourish your spirit as we honor local heroes and hear an inspiring message from Reverend Siobhan Arline Bradley, President and CEO of the National Council of Negro Women. For ticket information, 413-650-6154. Email info@naacpspringfield.org. This announcement was a public service of WTCC at Springfield Technical Community College.
All right. All right. So there it is. Govern yourselves accordingly. That's what we say in church after we do the church announcements. Govern yourselves accordingly. All right, we got Chi-Town in the house. Good morning, Whit. We got Long Island, my good friend and brother Mark Beavers checking in from Strong Island. Who else we got here? Y'all supposed to be repping your city, repping your towns, okay? Union, New Jersey is up in the house. I see you, Frat. Earl Newton, Arizona is in the building. Chicago is in the building. Who else is in here? Pensauken, New Jersey. The 413 is up in here. Houston is up in here. Quebec is up in here. I see all these no sounds. I hope those were earlier. I hope those were all early in the program because hopefully everybody got sound right now. Chicago again. Somebody said the sheriff was arrested at the MGM for DUI. Okay, I ain't gonna bother that till I can verify that. The sheriff was arrested at MGM for a DUI. Okay, we're gonna have to verify that. Anyway, welcomes to everybody that's up in the building. I don't know who's checking in on the gram, and where you checking in from on the gram. So let me find out where y'all at. Let's see. I see you, Mr. Desi Jackson, on the gram. Are you saying yes, sir, to what I just said? Oh, saw it on 22 News. Lord have mercy. Yeah. Okay. It's being reported that the sheriff, and I'm assuming that somebody put the sheriff's name, because I don't want to say the name. It could be the sheriff of a different county. Are we talking about the Hampden County Sheriff? Somebody verify that with me. I see City Councilor LeVar Click Bruce is on the gram. I hate the thing about the gram is when you log on here, you can only see the comments that come on after you log on. So I don't know who else checked in on the gram before I got on here. Hampden County Sheriff in Ludlow. So it's being reported that the Hampden County Sheriff was arrested at MGM. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. 413-736-2781. Let me get on with the subject matter because I don't want to delve into that when I don't have the details on it. Um, oh boy. All right, let's get it. So there's been all this conversation about whether or not Kamala Harris is black. Okay? Whether or not she's black. The latest person to chime in on the conversation is the world renowned member of the Jackson family, Janet Jackson. Yeah, Janet. Janet is saying that yeah, she heard Kamala ain't black. She's Indian and her daddy white and all this kind of stuff, Janet is saying. Now here's the thing. Before I'm not even going to go off on Janet at all. I really blame the media for this foolishness. Janet ain't never weighed in on the political discourse. She has never, ever been one to give political analysis or to speak out on social issues or anything like that. Why is it that the media is always seeking out commentary from black entertainers and people who don't have any political acumen, no political IQ, no history or record of social involvement or civic engagement? But those are the people they want to question in the black community about the election, about politics, about policy. Folk who ain't never had nothing to do with any of that. They only do that in the black community. Malcolm X talked about it. How, when they want people to weigh in amongst white folks and others, they get the thought leaders. They get the experts. They get the people who have done the research. They get the people who have worked in the field to comment on the subject matter. It's only in the black community do they go get singers and dancers and athletes and entertainers, comedians, and all of that stuff. They don't get the scholars and the academicians and the thought leaders and those that are actually in the political field, those who have actually worked on public policy issues and civic engagement and stuff. They don't get them. They don't talk to them. They run and they get a comedian. Or they run and get a Janet Jackson who ain't never talked about politics ever. Like, why are we listening? Why are we being inundated with what Janet Jackson has to say? What Amber Rose has? Who gives a hamburger what Amber Rose has to say about the election? I mean, that's a woman fame was sleeping with black rappers. Let's just keep it a buck. Her claim to fame was dating Kanye West and having babies by black rappers. But we supposed to listen to her about public policy and who to vote for? Are y'all serious? Cleveland, Ohio in the building. They only do that in the black community. You don't see them going and sticking microphones in the faces of white comedians and white athletes and white entertainers and singers and dancers and all that kind of stuff. Now, D.L. Hughley is different. Somebody put D.L. Hughley in there because D.L. has always weighed in on the political discourse. He is always he in addition to being a comedian, he is a talk show host who tackles these issues on a daily basis. Remember, DL used to be a commentator on CNN. He has a different cachet. He has a different resume. You do have some entertainers who have been involved. I mean, and that's always been the case. You know, from your Harry Belafontes to your Dick Gregory's, there's always a small contingency of those in Hollywood who have been involved in civic engagement, who have been activists, who have been commentators, who have been part of the public discourse. And DL is one of those. But Amber Rose ain't. And Janet Jackson ain't. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to harp on Janet, but you're questioning the blackness of Kamala Harris. You done married 2 Mexicans. You got a half Mexican baby. So what would Janet feel like if somebody said her child ain't black? You know? I mean, we got to be careful with this conversation. Here's my problem with the conversation. The notion that black identity, first of all, black identity is global. It ain't just about America. And we got to stop being so small-minded that we think the only people who classify as black are those born in America and born to those who went through American chattel slavery. The notion that black identity is solely rooted in African American heritage overlooks the historical roots of the African diaspora. From the transatlantic slave trade to colonialism and the global migration of black people, African descendants have shaped cultures and economies and politics worldwide, not just in America. The Caribbean is a region that's defined by black culture and resistance. Read about the Maroons in Jamaica. Read about the Haitian Revolution. So you mean to tell me someone with Jamaican heritage isn't placed firmly within the global black tradition of resistance and resilience? I mean, you gotta honor the broader story of black struggle and survival across continents, not just in North America, not just in what Maya Angelou called these yet to be United States of America. We've got to understand that blackness is not a monolithic experience, even within the United States. African Americans, Caribbean Americans, African immigrants, Afro-Latinos, all have contributed to the mosaic of black identity in America and beyond. And to dismiss, whether you like her politics or not, and I have more respect for people who differ with Kamala Harris based upon her political viewpoints, her politics, and her public record than those that are attacking her based upon her race. I mean, to dismiss her Jamaican heritage as somehow less authentically black is to ignore the diversity within Black America itself. It's a narrow viewpoint that reduces black identity to a checklist of experiences that black people have long navigated. Have a shared history of oppression and resistance. and the emphasis on racial authenticity in politics, especially for black candidates, it's a distraction from the more pressing issues. Kamala Harris's identity as a black woman is historically significant, but these racial litmus tests are becoming a diversion that reinforces harmful stereotypes. Black candidates, particularly women, are often subjected to heightened scrutiny regarding their racial and cultural connections, while their qualifications and policy proposals take a backseat. Talk to me about her politics. I don't have a problem with you disagreeing with that. But this tendency to question blackness and culture, it reflects a larger societal discomfort with black leadership. This eagerness to question the legitimacy of black politicians, and so it has spilled over into the white community. So now you got Trump and his ilk questioning her blackness, like they give a hamburger. They don't like black people anyway, but now they questioning people's blackness. Here's the thing that you need to understand. While there's questions swirling around and entertainers and folk questioning Kamala Harris's blackness, you can't question whether or not Donald Trump is a white supremacist. Ain't no question about that. No question about that. I mean, you know, that is what it is. Yeah, Donald Trump is a white supremacist, period. Whether you think Kamala is black or not, Trump is a white supremacist, period. Drop the mic right there. So, you know, for those of you who say, well, you know, Kamala ain't black, Trump ain't either. Okay? So if you don't think she's black, that's cool. Then it wouldn't be the first time that the presidential race was between two people that ain't black. Let me get ODB up in here. All right, ODB, you got the microphone first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, I appreciate the stance. I just have a vehement. I vehemently disagree with everything that you were saying. So first off, I would like to address to denounce black as like a checklist of things. When we know when we speak of black, we're speaking of a lineage of people who have a shared lineage, history, culture here that was the ethnogenesis started in America. You know what I mean? So that's the problem when we see Kamala Harris up there and she's cosplaying, you know, putting on different voices. I might believe being divisive. You know what I mean?
But now, wait. Now, when you say that, now I'll agree with you from the vantage point that when we're talking about reparations in America, shared lineage, absolutely.
Do you think the Yoruba? Hold on.
Wait. No. Let me. I just want to finish this.
A young 90s brother born in '94. To you, when the Yoruba people have ethnic pride, do you think Black Americans should have the same basis and not be shamed for saying that we're a different group of people within ourselves? And we can display that same.
Absolutely, I don't have a problem.
We don't have another identifier. Our only identifier is black, or you could go by the African American term if that's what you want.
But see, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. What my problem is when we talk about black people, it is global. It is across when we talk about people who descended from Africans, we are on every continent in the world. We have influenced every culture in the world. We exist everywhere in world. The black diaspora is more than the African American experience here in North America.
See, and that's where we're having a disagreement. The black experience, like Puerto Ricans came over here and they said they weren't black. You know what I mean? African people came over and said we're Yoruba, we're Igbo, we're Fulani, we're Tutsi. You know what I mean? And we're cool with that. I love the fact that they are able to establish their ethnic pride. But when black Americans have a sense of ethnic pride and say, hey, this is not that, i.e. Janet Jackson, this is not black. This is not the same thing that I am for real. And there are a group of people that have that same voice. It seems like, a lot of people that come from the Democratic Party, the Boule, like to silence that voice because she is part of that group of people want to say, well, she's black enough and you're going to have to take that and accept that regardless of what you're saying. When you know that her father, we know Brahmin Indians, what a Brahmin Indian is. Empty, black, melanated, there's Indians that are darker than him. That is her dad's lineage of the people that she hails from, and they're white Irishmen, because having Jamaican heritage does not also make you black. That means that goes by a nation, a nationalist. You know what I mean? That means you are Jamaican by nationality, and that's what he is. He's not black by nationality. He's not black by lineage.
I don't necessarily. I don't think we disagree as vehemently as you think we do, because listen, I'm what you would call, some call it FBA, some call it what. Listen, my family is 8 generations from enslaved Africans here in America. So I understand that pride, etc. But I also understand that there were Africans who were dropped off in the Caribbean, who were dropped off in other places, and the collective global shared experience of colonialism and oppression has affected black people across the diaspora. And that's all I'm saying is count someone else's blackness simply because they don't have the shared experience that we have.
And I got a quick question. How do you feel about Dr. Claude Anderson? I think he's a renowned economist and scholar.
Listen, I've studied Dr. Claude Anderson. I get much from Dr. Claude Anderson.
So when he speaks on like the delectable Negro, and then also not replacement theory, but the model minority. He speaks on these, like the Caribbeans, Africans, and their roles, with inside of, because we have the Office of Money and Budgeting, how they, like we see right now, we have the Haitian Congressional Black Caucus, which, you know what I mean, they have the same people, like, I'm not no disrespect, but Sheila Jackson Lee, who is part of the Congressional Black Caucus, you know what I mean, and the Haitian, you know what I mean? So we have people that can misinform our policies, or maybe even shrink something that only a black, because we do have experiences of black Americans that do not go across the diaspora that are specific to black Americans.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. There are experiences.
We minimize that experience as well. And I think Janet Jackson, what she's trying to do is amplify that experience that certain black Americans that are having, that are not part of the boule, that are not part of, maybe.
Well, listen. I think I appreciate your commentary. I think we do a disservice when we start questioning people's blackness based upon the boule, the this, the that. And I get that often. Oh, you're a part of a fraternity. You're the boule. You're the this. You're the that. That doesn't negate my blackness. It doesn't negate my voice. If you choose not to be a part of that, that's fine. That's wonderful. All I'm saying is blackness goes beyond. And listen, I'm part of that experience in America. My people were enslaved in Alabama, migrated to Mississippi after emancipation, went through sharecropping, all of that stuff. Like I said, 8 generations deep from Africa. So we are part of that. But we are also connected to the broader black diaspora. And I'm not going to tell other people that they are not black simply because they don't share in the experience that my family has shared in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. You know what? I was about Alma being black. So I remember when the old saying was, if you got 2% of black in you, you black. You are black. So, I'm good.
Well, actually, the saying was, if you got one drop of black blood, you black. It was the one. It was the one drop rule.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So even on that right there, I'm saying that we don't, I mean, I'm not saying everybody. When I say we, I'm just speaking in general. You don't feed into narrative. Good talking point, but don't feed into the narrative. You know what I mean? Because that's just another way of dividing. Because that's what they do. That's what people do. They try to divide and find reasons for us. Well, I'm glad our ancestors before based everything based on one thing, and you know what that is. The color of your skin, or whether or not you have black in you. Our ancestors, they just stuck together. They stuck together through thick and thin,
Yes.
And they made the changes that you and I are enjoying right now.
With the first caller.
Hold on, other caller. There's someone talking. Hold on.
Yes, I agree with the first caller.
No. Hey. Hold on, brother. There's another brother talking. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Ben
So my thing is that you just cannot feed into things every time a person of a different
I agree with the first caller that was on the phone.
Puts it out there. You just cannot start feeding into that stuff because it's just a form of division, a form of creating chaos within the black community, and we do that to us. Our ancestors didn't let people do that to us. They were just consistent and persistent on just sticking together, uniting, and us moving forward, and we did. All right, so that's what I got to say about that. The 2%, that's all it took that back then. If it was a white person, they had 2% black in them, they're black.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call. 413-736-2781. Those of you who are trying to chime in on the conversation. Listen, critiquing a politician's record is valid. It's not only valid, it's necessary in a democracy. So critique her record. Absolutely. I respect that all day long. However, reducing that critique to identity-based gatekeeping narrows the scope of meaningful political discourse. So instead of examining how Kamala Harris's policies affect black and marginalized communities, these conversations have devolved into discussions of whether or not she's black enough, or whether or not her family has experienced sufficient oppression to be a legitimate spokesperson for the community. These are reductive tests that are rarely, if ever, applied to candidates of other races. And it's black people who are doing it. And it's essential that we move beyond these surface level critiques and focus on whether her actions as a leader align with the needs of the people. That's the conversation. And I don't mind having that particular conversation. We need to have that conversation. All right, Twitter space is lighting up. Booby, you got the mic. Booby, you up next. I hope I pronounced it right. Y'all got some names. Unmute your microphone.
Yes. Hello. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Shout out to you, Bishop. Shout out to you. I agree with your sentiments and what you're saying, because you said it's not about lineage and about her being black. Well, if we want people to represent us, we need to make sure that she's representing us correctly, for one, and also can she speak to the truthful situations about us and our hardships in America, which she doesn't. She doesn't specifically address Black Americans. She doesn't do that at all. And also, when you speak about the blackness, how you categorize blackness, and how broad you look at it, It's really not that, honestly, because we're not just talking about the term, or we're not just going off of skin color. We're going off of actual paperwork, actual documentation, because black is a specific term that was specifically placed on us. We have specific hardships under that term black. Africans don't have that. Caribbeans don't have that. We've actually been documented on black U.S. Census records going back to the 1800s, mid 1800s. Nobody else can prove that. I mean, nobody else can provide those type of documents. No other heavy melanated group of people can provide those type of documents. So it's, you know what I mean? With our culture, with everything that our people went through and the culture they built off of that is very specific to the USA. The black codes, Jim Crow, American chattel slavery, that's not duplicated nowhere else in the world. Nowhere else in the world went through
let me ask you a
ownership
question.
of nobody else went through that.
Let me ask
So
you a
when we
question.
talk about blackness and what happened to us in America, that is very specific.
Oh,
And
of
that's
course.
historically a
There's
fact.
no
It's
question.
it's not theory. We're not making it up.
Bro, I don't think we're arguing that the experience of black Americans is very specific. And I'll be the first one to say it, and have said it many, many times, that no one has ever gone through what black Americans have gone through in terms of American chattel slavery, the worst form of slavery in human history, and the subsequent oppression, brutalization, and dehumanization that we have gone through. No question about that at all. But I like to go back to your first part of your conversation when you said she doesn't speak to the concerns. That is a legitimate critique. If you feel she doesn't speak to the concerns of black Americans, that is good political discourse. What I'm saying is, why are we devolving the conversation into whether or not she's black? We ain't talking about what Trump is or is not. We go to the polls every election and vote for non-black people, and we don't ever question their identity. Why is that the conversation right now? That's what I want to know. Why has the conversation devolved into that? Oh, she ain't black. I ain't voting for her. She ain't black. Now, if you're saying you're not voting for her because she doesn't speak to the needs of my people, I respect that. I respect that. But I ain't voting for her because she ain't black. Then don't vote for Trump either, because he sure ain't black. Let me get Black and Power in here. Black and Power, you got the mic. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781. Only got 7 minutes. Now, don't y'all start calling here, at 9:59. Black and Power, you got the mic. Going once. Going twice. All right, I got to move on to somebody who's going to unmute. Don Mulio. All right, Black and Power, go ahead. You unmute. Go ahead. Good morning. All right, let's get Don Mulio. Y'all unmute your mics quickly and speak.
Hey, how you doing, Bishop? Good morning. Thank you for the space. So I definitely agree with our sister Janet Jackson, and I think D.L. Hughley was definitely out of line for attacking that sister's looks when her critique about Kamala. While some people may feel like it was below the belt or that it was disparaging, you have to remember what Brother Booby just said. We want somebody that can speak to our plight and our condition as a people. And the reason why Kamala is not able to do that is because she does not come from black culture. Going to an HBCU does not qualify you to be black, when we know for a fact that there are white people that go to HBCUs all the time. There are Asians that go to HBCUs all of the time. Kamala Harris has made a career out of distancing herself from black culture. And the only time that she wanted to be black, let's just be real and blacken it up, is during election season.
So her
poll numbers amongst a lot of grassroots black people is extremely low. She does not have a history of doing a lot of philanthropy. She doesn't have a history of fighting for tangible, specifically and only for black people, the same way that she does for other groups of people, particularly immigrants and LGBT. We're not saying that other groups should not get what they are due, but what we're saying is they shouldn't get what they are due at the expense of black people.
Okay,
and oftentimes we see people that claim to be black when it suits them and not when it's unpopular.
So let me ask this question. And I respect what you've laid out. At the same time, has the other candidate done any of the things that you said? Have they been connected to black culture? Have they spoken?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. See, I'm not one of those people, and a lot of black people on the ground. What you'll find is we're not calling out Kamala or the Democrats because we're trying to get in good with the Republicans. We know that one of them is Calvin Candy, and the other one is the slave master on the other plantation. So it's not a question of who treats black people better and who has done more for black people. We calling out everybody because at this point, if no side is going to give tangible specifically to black people, then to hell with both of the parties.
Then I respect your viewpoint. What I have a problem with are those black folks that are riding the Trump train, talking about what Trump gonna do for black folk and all that kind of stuff. I can fully respect the position that the Democrats have been apathetic to black people, and so have the Republicans. So thank you for your conversation, brother. Let me go to Sonny. Sonny, you got the microphone.
Peace. Good morning. What's going on, Bishop?
How you feel?
Well, I'm feeling good, man. It's good to talk to you again.
Yes, sir.
I'll be back in the space. Definitely. This is definitely this conversation is on fire right now. It's on every media platform. What I call this right now, Bishop, is the Obama effect.
Okay.
And we witnessing and we live in the Obama effect right now. A lot of us were asleep at the wheel in 2008, when we were voting and getting behind Obama simply because we thought he was black, quote unquote, because of his skin tone. And we seen when he got in office, both of his terms, he really didn't do anything or speak to the plight of black Americans in America, those who descend from U.S. chattel slavery. We thought he was going to be standing on reparations, come out, be bold for it. A lot of anti-black crimes was happening around the country, and we seen a lot of things, and we felt like he could do a lot more, when it comes to us here, who descend from U.S. chattel slavery. So that's what a lot of us is waking up. A lot of us is waking up to the fact that, because for the majority of the time in this country, it's only been us in this country, a handful, right? It's only been us by a large percentage. My grandmother. She's still alive. She's in her 80s. She didn't go to school. When I asked her what black mean to her, she thinking about the Jones, the Johnsons, the Thompsons, the Youngs. Everybody in my neighborhood, all the houses in my neighborhood were black Americans predominantly. As we progress and go out through the years, the 70s, the 80s, we see an influx of melanated immigrants coming to this country and coming to our neighborhoods and et cetera. And it's not, they have, taken political positions of power. And these people aren't us. And we want the people we elect to put in position to represent us and to be us authentically. I give you an example, just real quick, like what's going on with Maxwell Frost down here and, everything that's happening with the Haitians in Springfield. They have a Haitian caucus. Mm-hmm. They have their own Haitian caucus. Now, we know we got a black caucus. I don't know who the black caucus represents. So does the Haitian caucus represent do they represent black Americans too? Or does the black American caucus or the black caucus represent everybody? We need to have specific, we need to have specific things and specific organizations and specific groups that just represent us. And it's not hating. We don't hate nobody. We just need to know, who's speaking, for us in our plight. I just land right there, Bishop. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir. Black in Power. I'm gonna try to get you back in. I don't have much time. I got to get off the air. But since we didn't get you in before, we'll try again. You got the mic.
Good morning, Bishop. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me up to speak. So, what I wanted to say was the only person who's bringing up Kamala's blackness is Kamala. right? So your question is, who isn't black? The person who isn't black American is the person who's keep trying to prove that they're black American. So does any of our family members even mention making collard greens in the bathtub or talk about making any black American foods? A lot of those things are trade secrets. Matter of fact, within the family household, but they keep trying to prove, make it seem that she's black because they're asking her questions about food. Do we talk about wearing chucks and pearls, or do we just dress as black Americans? Uh, she keeps trying to prove that she's black, but the only thing that she's able to prove is that she has association with certain black people. So, with that being the case, I'm not looking for a Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's not standing in the refrigerator with collard greens in his hand. Donald Trump is not trying to prove that he's anything but what he is. I'm looking at the person who is part of the party that we give over 85% of our vote to and get absolutely nothing.
All right, brother.
So
I appreciate the conversation.
Being who isn't black is the person that keeps trying to prove to me that they're black.
All
and
right.
she is doing that. I land right there.
All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't get to the rest of y'all. I gotta move out of the way. The brother was killing me with the collard greens. So listen, we're gonna continue this conversation on Friday on the Black Love Experience. So tune in on Friday at 9:00 a.m. Hopefully, if nothing else big happens in the news that we need to talk about, we'll continue this conversation. Those of you who are listening on WTCC, keep it locked right here, mid-morning Jack Black Men, right till the next time I talk to you and you talk to me. Always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings. Peace out, Instagram. All right, I gotta go, Twitter Space. Jump on with me on Friday. She seen somebody post RIP with his name, and I said I doubt it's the same friend I had since the 7th grade.